Hey, welcome, friends, to another edition of the Fantasy Forecast Points After Thursday with Granberg and Biggs. This is a special edition because this one is an overtime watch along with Granberg and Biggs. So the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Rams are tied at 23 right now. End of regulation. They're going to overtime. So feel free to ask your starts and sits questions. We will answer as many as we possibly can, and then and give you we'll react to this 49ers Rams game live in real time.
What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night. It is the kickoff to week 5. And yeah, Biggs, it's been an exciting, kickoff to week 5. I love a Thursday night game that is back and forth. And divisional game between 49ers and the Rams. It's been a tight one. I was hoping for a little bit more scoring, but hey, can't complain at this stage. The big names are getting the big points. And any surprises in this one? I mean, obviously Kendrick Bourne is popping off right now, and he's the leading receiver in the game so far.
I can complain. My opponent in my home league is a Rams fan, and he has Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Kyron Williams in his lineup. So that's not good. And then I have Kendrick Bourne in a league, and let's see.
And
he's got 24 points on my bench.
Oh, he's on your bench, like in a lot of leagues. I'm assuming, unless you're really, really, strapped at the old wide receiver position. But Kendrick Bourne, been able to fit in this offense in the past, and obviously he was the biggest beneficiary tonight so far of the vacant, targets from Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, George Kittle. And obviously somebody, tossing the ball, Brock Purdy. So the 49ers plagued with a ton of injuries, but still managing to get by. And we got Albert here in the building. Albert, what's going on, my friend?
G'day, mate.
G'day, Mike.
How you going, champion?
I really hope he's from Australia.
He is. Oh, wait, maybe that's Vincent Mapstone.
Had to start. Look at this guy, Champion Albert. Look at this, getting in on the Kendrick Bourne craze, and having to start him or putting him in your lineup because it was a savvy move. You could play it either way, Albert. Don't deny yourself the glory here.
Yeah, he was on my starts show.
He was not.
I said start Kendrick Bourne
from the Fantasy Forecast, which is going to be dropping.
No, not the Fantasy Forecast. It was a different show. You wouldn't know it.
Okay, so what's your take in this game? Who's taking this down?
I mean, I gotta lean Rams. They've been pedal to the metal since the first quarter. 49ers jumped out to an early lead. And McGillicuddy, Aloysius Jones, he's been fine. Huge night from my guy, former California Golden Bear legend, Jake Tongas. I actually do have him in my lineup in the club championship with the Andropoulos, and he's gotten 20.65 points for me. So that's cool.
Yeah, you know who I started in the club championship in the Andropoulos league?
I have no idea.
Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick
Bourne, yeah. He was a natural born killer in the club championship this week as I head up against the one and only Jax Falcone. So hopefully I can take him down. Now, folks, if you got any questions, some start and sit questions as we head into the weekend, as we anxiously anticipate the kickoff here at overtime, and here it is. Yeah. And there's a flag.
Is there a flag?
Yeah.
Well, there's a
yeah. Are you
no?
behind?
I'm just no.
All right.
What I could do is pause it.
No, let's continue on.
Then
You can be ahead of me and then talk about. All
Dirty
right. Well, as we get into some other storylines here, Biggs, we know that there's a ton of buys this week, 4 to be exact. Plus the injuries. So if you had a team that had a Bijan Robinson, a Lamar Jackson, and a Malik Neighbors, you're probably not looking very good this week heading into here. But what are some games you're looking at outside of your Raiders? Obviously, on the calendar here, couple games that have some big lines, but nothing that is standing out to me that is out of the norm. Oh, wait, we got a question here. James Coffey in full PPR. Would you prefer to pick up Ollie Gordon or Bayshell Truton, both available in my league on waivers? Many thanks for your advice.
That's a great question, James Coffey. Thank you. I'm gonna take a quick peek here, looking at usage rates, and we got Gordon. Gordon to this point in the season has 14.4 points, a total of 3 targets and 18 attempts. And Tootin, (21) rushes with 4 targets. So I'm leaning Tootin on that one.
Yeah. I'm a little bit butter is when he's in the red zone. Now without Tyreek Hill here in the lineup, and maybe it could be good things for the Miami Dolphins. It remains to be seen, but I like the stability of Bayshell Tootin. He's getting some, pretty stable carries, and he's got the same type of red zone upside that Ollie Gordon has in an offense that I think is going to be in more tighter games, and a 3-1 team here headed into the second half of the first half of the season here, Biggs.
That must be a pretty deep league if you're juggling those two guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so games. Back to the games this weekend. What are you thinking here? What are the main state games that you're looking at as far as fantasy wise? I see a divisional game between the Patriots and Bills, and I'm really interested to see how Drake May fares this week. Biggs.
Josh Allen versus Diet Josh Allen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean the soda pop challenge, if you will.
Oh, can I talk about Dirty Mountain Dew now?
Yeah, let's do it. Talk about it.
It's Mountain Dew cream soda. I really like the Washington-Los Angeles Chargers matchup. I think that's going to be a fun game to watch, especially with Jaden Daniels coming back. Yes, Washington doesn't have Terry McLaurin in the lineup this week, and they also lost Austin Eckler, but I think they should put up a pretty good fight against the Chargers. Cowboys-Jets should be fun, watching the Cowboys give up 40 points to Justin Fields, and same on the other side. 40 to 40 tie. Eagles and Denver. That one is like two of the stoutest defenses in all of football. Somebody's going to have to come out on top. That's going to be a fun one. And I'm excited to watch Jackson Dart go to work against the Saints. Tampa-Seattle is going to be interesting. Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
And then there's the one nobody's going to watch. The ones nobody's going to watch, like Cleveland, Minnesota, Tennessee, Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the biggest game is, yes, indeed, the Cowboys-Jets game. I know the line's set at 47.5 right now, but I really think that this game could be the one that has a good opportunity to get the over. Justin Fields is playing at a really, really high level right now, and we know what Dallas does on defense to opposing quarterbacks. They give up a ton of fantasy points. So where do you have, Justin Fields ranked this year, this week? Top 5 guy for you?
QB1.
QB1 overall over but Josh Allen. Yeah. I mean, I have him as my QB2, so I don't think you're outlandish here, Biggs.
No, we talked about it on the Dynasty Pulse. He's averaging in the games he's played full go. He's averaging 28 points per game. That is good for QB1. So, it's a Dallas Cowboys defense that doesn't stop anybody. If Justin Fields can get his arm loose, let it fly, he's got, the number 3 target earner in all of the NFL wide receiver cores. Let's go Jets.
Let's go Jets. And
49ers take the lead. Doink.
You mentioned Mason Taylor earlier this offseason, Biggs, as a guy that you had pegged as potentially, finishing as a top 10 guy, as a super bold prediction amongst,
correct,
Fields, Brees, and Garrett Wilson as a four player parlay, if you will.
Yeah.
But Mason Taylor, he's steaming up. He's getting the routes. He's on the field quite a bit with the snaps, and it's looking like a guy that is becoming more prevalent in the passing game. Obviously, with the tight end landscape being what it is, are you still really highly optimistic on Fields being able to turn around in the pass and become relevant for Taylor?
Absolutely. So Justin Fields, the analysis that went into my bold claim that Mason Taylor could finish as a top 10 tight end is that Justin Fields had a top 10 tight end in Chicago with Cole Kmet, along with a top 10 wide receiver in DJ Moore, and Fields finished in the top 10 himself. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that, Brees Hall can sneak into the top 10. Garrett Wilson is already there. Justin Fields is getting there. Looking at Mason Taylor's usage rates, he has a pretty consistent snap share, 88%, 72, 74, 81%. But what the story is with Mason Taylor is over the course of the 4 games, and keep in mind, this is a rookie tight end learning the game of the NFL, and he had targets earned in week 1 of 1, week 2 of 2, week 3 he had 6, week 4 he had 7. So Justin Fields is, or at least the New York Jets play calling is starting to trust Mason Taylor more and more, and all that means is that he's going to be getting consistent targets. If you want a tight end who for the rest of the season is going to be averaging 8 to 10 targets a game, Mason Taylor is going to be right there. There aren't a whole lot of pass catchers on the Jets besides Garrett Wilson. You can argue Allen Lazard a little bit, but really Mason Taylor can definitely emerge as the number 2 target earner in this offense, and that's a good place to be for a tight end. Shout out Koopa Fiasco.
All right, 4KT Owen, we got a question here from him, and that is flex Rashad or Pittman this week. Rachaad White, I mean, this is one of those things for me as like you really got to keep an eye on the practice reports. I know Bucky didn't practice again today. That's 2 days in a row. So if Bucky is not a go, I am fully on a Rachaad White workload here. I know that Sean Tucker might, come in and dig into that, but I think Rachaad White's going to get the cat's meow, if you will, of the carries here. And, if Rachaad White is indeed the lead back and Bucky is inactive, I'm willing to play him for sure over Pittman. Not the greatest.
I'm taking a different tack with that. I'm going with Pittman here. You have Rachaad White, who's going up against a Seattle defense that has been pretty stiff against the run. If I look, they're definitely top 10. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are 10th in the league, so like top third in fantasy points allowed to running backs at 13. And then if we look at the Raiders' pass defense, they are closer to the bottom. They allow the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers at 23.8 per week. So I think Michael Pittman can feast in this one, and Rachaad White has a tougher matchup. So that's where I would go.
I just think that if Bucky's not playing with the lion's share there, I look at this Raider matchup being like maybe more of a Jonathan Taylor forward script, and then just, really pounding the rock in the second half. So it's going to take Michael Pittman to have a boomer bust kind of play, which is possible. But for me, I just think I'm going to go with the floor play here, because I don't think the Colts are going to be passing as much as a lot of people think in this game.
Well, the Raiders are even better against the run than the Seahawks are. They're 7th in fantasy points allowed. So it might be more of a passing environment for Daniel Jones than we think.
All right. Well, do with that information as you will. All right, let's get into the next one here. Question from James. I have Drake London on a buy, decide whether to start Darius Slayton or Troy Franklin. I'll start with this one, Biggs. I just really like the upside here of Slayton this week in the matchup they have over Troy Franklin. I think that, in the games that Malik Neighbors wasn't in last year, Darius Slayton was a very good, profitable wide receiver. And I'm just not willing to roll the dice here on a Sean Payton wide receiver that is just like he picks his poison every week, and it's tough to peg the week that he's gonna go off on. So for me, I'm a Slayton guy this week. I think there's a big boom play opportunity here, and that's where I'm at this stage. They're playing New Orleans. This could be a matchup that is a fight, but could end up being a high-scoring game because both teams are kind of not on the right track right now. So the wheels could fall off quite easily. What are your thoughts on this one, Biggs?
I agree. Somebody needs to step up in New York and receive those darts. The only hesitation I have with not starting Franklin is that they're playing the Eagles, and Quinyon Mitchell, you'll see in the fantasy forecast. Here's a forecast of the forecast. I called Cortland Sutton an automatic sit this week because he's going to be going against Quinyon Mitchell, which means that Bo Nix is going to have to be looking somewhere else, which means that Troy Franklin could possibly exploit his relationship with Bo Nix, and he could have a sneaky good game. I think I'm still starting Slayton, but don't be surprised if Troy Franklin surprises everybody this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly one of those situations too. Yeah, I mean, they're up against Philly. So, they could be in a tough situation where they're going to need to pass the ball. And, that could easily be that outcome here. So
the San Francisco 49ers are 4-1 with the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah. And they pulled out one here, came up tight. Man, that's a disappointing one if you're a Rams fan.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, so how did this game end up being here? We had Kyron Williams having a very good game in the air, 8 for 66, 2 touchdowns, 65 yards on the ground. Oh, we got a question. Let's pop that one up here. Okay, would you rather have on your bench Bourne or Krosky Merritt? Who would you rather?
Oh, that's a great question, Juan Pena Jr. That's tough. Kendrick Bourne is looking at a situation where at some point Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall are coming back, and he's not, and George Kittle too, and he's not going to be the primary option. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is in a very muddled backfield. Although it does look like Chris Rodriguez is the leader at this point. He and Chris Rodriguez have been sharing snaps. I haven't been high on Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt for most of this season so far, but I think I lean him long term. He is in a better situation where he could take over than Bourne is.
Yeah, I agree with that too. You know what I mean? Krosky Merritt is in a situation where when you look at the backfield, yes, he's being split shares with, Chris Rodriguez, Jeremy McNichols. But when you look at how efficient these guys have been, and, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt pops off with the limited touches he gets, and efficiency matters, talent matters. And I just think that he's the most talented guy. And once Jaden Daniels gets back in the mix, and this Commanders team starts playing in some games that really matter a whole lot, I think they're going to go with the guy that is going to be the more talented guy, and they're easing him into his full-time role, in my opinion, at this stage of the game. And I think that down the line, Krosky Merritt in the latter half of this year could be a league winner.
Yeah. What was the Jeremy
McNichols?
Jeremy McNichols, thank you. Jeremy McNichols' usage rate has not changed since the injury to Austin Eckler. He did have a touchdown on, I want to say it was a long reception, which helped boost his fantasy points last week or the week before. But he's really not in the mix as far as touches go. It's Chris Rodriguez and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt in a split. Jeremy McNichols comes in on third down for pass protection. And that's one thing that I noticed when Austin Eckler was in the game that he got hurt, was that McNichols was basically coming in to provide pass protection. And that was about it. That hasn't changed. So Krosky Merritt's in a position where he definitely could outshine Chris Rodriguez at some point and win that job. Bourne is not that guy.
Love the call here, Biggs. Okay, so we got a question here from Juan Pena. Who, for my wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, my RB2 and flex spot, Josh Jacobs is on a bye, Nick Chubb, Travian Henderson, and Zach Charbonnet. His wide receivers are Jordan Addison. Well, that's an automatic start for me. You got Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown. Well, I hope you started Devontae Adams in that group potentially tonight. I mean, and then Quentin Johnson and Deebo Samuel. For me, for sure, you got to get Quentin Johnston in there, 100%. Jordan Addison, Deebo, and I guess for the running back, for me personally, I'm starting Travion Henderson, and then I guess in the flex spot, yeah, you got to go with the one Devontae Adams. Hopefully, you started, and that fill that out. But what are your thoughts on that, Biggs?
Quentin Johnston, Devontae, Deebo, Addison in that order. Henderson, Charbonnet, Chubb in that order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you spoke to the Charbonnet thing. I mean, there's an outlier chance that, he could be used at the goal line and stuff, even though it's a terrible running matchup for the Seahawks. He's also used a lot in the passing game. And then looking at the wide receivers, Deebo has a really good matchup. Devontae already played. Again, hopefully you started him already. And then really love Quentin Johnston.
Well, speaking of Quentin Johnson, would you trade him for Travis Etienne when your wide receivers are Addison, Thornton, Hollywood Brown? I would not, in my opinion. I think you've got some depth at running back, and Quentin Johnson is a top 12 wide receiver, and he is every week being ranked as such. I mean, this week the matchup is great for him. I have him ranked as a top 7 wide receiver, and the way that Justin Herbert is magneting him, I just think that this relationship is blossoming into something that is, what his first round pedigree has been. So to me, I think you need to keep that wide receiver based off of that room.
Same. And if there's some way that you can package like Thornton, maybe Gainwell, Chubb. If you could put together a different package, keep Quentin Johnson and go get Travis Etienne, do that.
Yeah. I mean, not sure anything outside of that. I mean, that like Quentin Johnson is kind of the piece there, but it's a tough one for that lineup to give up a wide receiver that is your top guy outside of Devontae Adams. Those guys are kind of neck and neck right now, anyhow. So I think with the depth of your running back room, unless it's like a niche, scoring system, I think you're pretty set up with where you are right there in your running back landscape there. And I don't think you need to be going to get Travis Etienne unless you have a premium at running back, right? I mean, if it's a 0.25 per rush, then that's something I'd certainly consider.
And Mike's not going to agree with me on this, but especially for Etienne, I probably wouldn't be opposed in redraft to trading away Travion Henderson.
Yeah, I mean,
for Etienne.
That backfield in New England is a murky one, and yeah, maybe somebody could emerge, and obviously the draft capital and the age, the signs are pointing to Henderson, but that's not saying that it's going to happen in his first year. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Biggs. I'm Etienne over Henderson rest of season for sure.
Yeah, maybe one you could do that.
Yeah, that might work. There could be somebody that is pretty high on. This owner could be high on Henderson. Maybe throw in a Gainwell to kind of spruce it up, so they have two guys to start, and then you get a guy that is also a top notch starter rest of year.
Take advantage of the hype train. Everybody's in love with Tyquan Thornton right now, and Kenneth Gainwell has gotten some steam.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, Biggs. What else do we got on the slate here? Let's talk about what we got going on.
Dirty Mountain Dew.
We hear about on Sunday mornings.
Sunday morning. So my gal and I, it's our 15th anniversary ish. We are observing it on Saturday, and we're driving to the coast for cheese and oysters. So Sunday morning, I'm going to be waking up in our hotel room and broadcasting live with Breakfast with Biggs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put a cocktail together, but I'll have something special, and I'll take all of your starts and sits questions at 8:30 a.m. Best Coast time, 11:30 a.m. East Coast. And is there an international game this weekend?
There is, and you should keep a couple oysters on ice over the night, and maybe have a couple shuckers, if you will, first thing Sunday morning.
Yeah, because everybody loves oysters for breakfast. Vikings Browns 6:30 a.m. from London. So who knows? I might be going on a little bit early, or not.
Or Saturday. Who knows?
Hey.
Depends on what day of the week it is. Okay.
No, Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific
time. All right. Let's scale the games. Colts and Raiders. Pretty high line there. What's your take on that?
It's not good news for the Raiders.
No.
Colts are 7-point favorite. Colts have a pretty damn good defense. Raiders are down a Pro Bowl left tackle. They already are not good at running the ball with that offensive line. So Gino's going to be chucking it, but he also leads the league in interceptions. So
you have the same damn look that Chev had when he was talking about his Titans, and the same look I had when you were gloating about the 1-0 start your Raiders had, in my 0-1 start the Chiefs had.
We were undefeated and first in the AFC West.
Love it. I have Ladd on my bench. Any thoughts on his outlook moving forward? It's a tough one. Ladd McConkey is, was a product of necessity last year, obviously. The situation now with Keenan Allen really makes things murky, and they're very similar in the way that he gets targeted by Justin Herbert. They were both first read guys, and now that is no longer Ladd McConkey's niche, right? He's often the second look, and his separation skill is still there. So I'm holding Ladd, and I still have optimism about him because Keenan Allen's in his 30s. His body may not keep up. He's never been known to be a guy that is injury free. So I mean, anything can happen. And Lab McConkey is still an elite wide receiver at separating. It's just a matter of Herbert being able to give him those first looks. So may not be this year. The Chargers are looking like a pretty good team. They may look at being more run centric now. You never know. But for my thoughts on Lad, I mean, I'm still optimistic about it, but I'm not holding my breath for a repeat of last year in the second half.
So the thing with Ladd is that he's still the team leader in snaps. So that has to turn into targets at some point. I think we're going to play this game with Ladd where when we bench him, he scores 20. When we put him in the lineup, he scores. We just need to find the right balance of Keenan Allen smash games and Ladd McConkey smash games, with both of them not quite living up to Quentin Johnston. So you're going to see Keenan Allen get focused on by the defense because he had a good game, and that's going to leave more room for Ladd McConkey. So once Keenan Allen is covered and Ladd McConkey's open, Ladd's going to get the targets. Then the next week, that defense is going to scheme for Ladd because he had a good week, and all the attention is going to go there, and Keenan Allen's going to be open again. I think we're going to have that dance through the rest of the season instead of Ladd McConkey just straight up being the target leader every week.
All right. This game screams game of the week written all over it. And that is the 8 a.m. game between the Cleveland Browns that you're sporting and the Minnesota Vikings. A whopping 36.5 line here. Overseas, two teams that are just struggling to get their momentum. Injury to Aaron Jones, injury to JJ McCarthy. Carson Wentz is a starter here. So up against a really tough Cleveland Browns defense, I think that, this could be very much a Quinshon Judkins game. What's your take on Judkins headed into this game here, Biggs? Any other fantasy notable players outside of Jefferson that you could pop? What's your take on Addison this week?
I don't know. It's a hard one to read. The Browns have a really, really good defense. This is borderline the second worst, not borderline, but this is the second worst rushing matchup, and the third worst passing matchup for the Vikings. And then on the flip side, you have a huge rush funnel with the Minnesota offense or Minnesota defense, which speaks to Quinshon Judkins, and then a lockdown Minnesota defensive backfield. So Judy Flacco and the tight ends are not going to do a whole lot. Low scoring game. They have it at 36.5 points. I think that's pretty right on, if not lower. I could see like a 15 to 10 game, something like that. These teams are flying to London. It's going to subdue the scoring a little bit. Neither of them have been explosive this year at all. So I would like place an under bet on the total score and have it's 3.5 to the Vikings. Probably give it to the Browns to cover, and it's going to be ugly. It's not something I'm waking up at 6:30 in the morning for. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's got the makings of 10 to 7 type game.
Yeah,
10 to 9, maybe 12 to 9. I'm not sure a touchdown is going to get scored, but it'll be a tight one. Tight. All right, Biggs. Not a whole lot of action in the chat tonight, so potentially people are getting themselves ready for breakfast with Biggs on Sunday morning with you.
They're getting their REM in now. Because it's always a barn burner. Yeah, I got more important things to do right now. There's a bowl of soup with my name on it.
No, I'm just talking about let's review the week schedule here on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. And tomorrow night, catch myself live on From the Forum with Joe and Tyler. Got the night off. Wife's going out, and the son's going for a sleepover party. So
She's
I'm gonna
going
hang
old
out
on the tone.
You bet. You bet. Yeah.
So here's a question: over under on Amon-Ra St. Brown, 40 fantasy points, 40.5 fantasy points this week. Are you going over or under?
Under.
Okay.
I think that's a safer bet. I don't know.
Over under 40.5 points for Garrett Wilson.
Under.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're very plausible, but I'm just scared to make a 40 banger bet. Like how many 40 bangers do people?
I mean, realistically, yeah, I should have set it at 24.5 points, but okay, so 24.5 points over under for Amon-Ra.
Say that again.
24.5 points.
I think that's an over.
24.5 points over under for Garrett Wilson.
Over.
Okay.
All right. Goff, Henry, Dobbins, Puka, Waddle, Laporta, Sutton. Benches, Ladd, Nix, Mayers, Bucky's injured. Yeah, Myers, sorry. Addison, Waller, Tucker. Any change that I make? Okay, so I'm looking at.
I'm putting McConkey in for Sutton.
Waddle. McConkey for Sutton, and you got Waddle in there. I like Addison too. I don't know. Okay, so Addison's pretty far down for me.
And I do like Jacoby over Waddle.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers has to be in this lineup. Over Waddle for sure. Over Sutton for me for sure. I'm going Jacoby and Ladd over Sutton and Waddle. And I'm certainly keeping Dobbins and Henry in there. Yeah. So that would be my is that where you are at, two bigs?
Yeah, you're gonna win the week based on Goff and Puka. But yeah, I would sub out Sutton and Waddle and put in Ladd and Jacoby.
Me too. Yep. Agreed. I like that call. All right. So as I was saying, we have From the Forum in the morning.
Oh.
And we've got Breakfast with Biggs, 10:30 Central, Sunday morning. And then on Sunday morning, the follow-up show, Spilled Coffee, from 11 a.m. to 12 Central. And then on Monday, Last Call to wrap up the week. And on Tuesday night, we have the weekly kickoff. And then Wednesday, Queen's Ransom. And then us, PAT, every Friday night.
Hey, look at this. This bison jerky is kind of like the dog treat of us, because it's made in the USA with USA and Canadian bison.
Crosses the North Dakota and Manitoba border.
And Poke Varsity said you prefer Ladd's matchup even if he hasn't done much. I do. I do like him against this Washington secondary. Also, Sutton gets heavily targeted, just making some conversation. I'm all about different opinions. So I addressed this on the Fantasy Forecast Starts and Sit show, which will pop sometime tomorrow or Friday, Saturday, something. Quinyon Mitchell is going to be all over Courtland Sutton this week. So he's been basically the second best shutdown corner in the NFL behind Patrick Surtain, who's going to be on probably Brown. So Courtland Sutton is going to get absolutely strapped this week. He's not getting open. Quinyon Mitchell doesn't let people get open. He has shut down really, really good wide receivers this year, including CeeDee Lamb. Like he made CeeDee Lamb very, very angry because he just couldn't get open against him. So I do like Ladd over Sutton.
Yeah. Me too.
And like I was saying earlier, there's a good possibility that the defense focuses more on keeping Keenan Allen shut down, and that opens Ladd up for more targets against a pretty porous Washington defensive backfield. So yeah, I like Ladd.
All right, folks. I think we're ready for the weekend here. I think we're ready for some college football on Saturday. I think we're ready for some NFL football on Sunday. And then you're darn ready for some waiver wire shows brought to you by the Fantasy Forecast on Tuesday morning.
Right, I'm ready for Dirty Mountain Dew.
There it is. Dirty Mountain Dew.
I'm also ready for oysters and cheese, and I'm ready for soup.
All right. Well, we're ready for the weekend, and hopefully you are too. And don't forget to hit us up on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Check out the Dynasty Pulse. Check out the forecast. All our shows will be on the network over the next couple of days, so be sure to hit us up. Hit up the merch shop too for 15% off your merch purchase with Forecast 15. Anything else to add?
I always forget that. I always forget that.
Anything else to add, Biggs?
Chris's Smoked Pickles on Facebook. Go order some pickles.
There you go, Chris's Smoked Pickles. When are you going to get me some pickles? How do I get myself some pickles, Biggs? Talk about your pickles.
I'll get you hooked up. If we start running my commercial on our shows, then I'll have Chris send you a box.
Talk to the boss. All right, man. Let's do some pickling. All right, from all of us on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network, from all of us on the Fantasy Forecast with Greinberg and Biggs.
We hope you win.
We hope you win, folks. And be sure to check out Biggs' live stream Sunday morning and spill coffee for all your start and sit questions. We'll see you next week on PAT.
We are here. We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySports